The first step to making some perfect, delicious bacon is the preparation. You want to take it out of the fridge when it's nice and cold. You can even put it in the freezer for a minute or two just to get it nice and cold. And then you actually roll it up. This is going to make it much easier to separate and make that prep time even better. Now you take your baking sheet, because we're going to do it in the oven. That's the easiest way to do it and the cleanest way. Get the nice sheet of aluminum foil, nice and bigger than your baking sheet. And you want to make sure you give yourself a lip on each end. That way all that grease that comes off that bacon doesn't just pour over onto your baking sheet, defeating the purpose of having that aluminum foil there. And you want to have a nice long end on each side. The front and the tail should be even longer, because it's going to be important to use that for cleanup down the road. Now, to make some nice lean bacon, if you're having some friends over that don't want all the fat, a little bit fancier, and you don't want to use turkey bacon, you want the taste of real pork bacon. Very simple. You can just get a nice sharp knife. Make sure you always got sharp knives in the house. You don't want dull knives. And just cut right down that end, slice that fat right off there, and you can put that aside. Now, you could always bake that fat for someone else if they like those cracklings or trimmings, or if you have a pet, family pet that loves that kind of stuff too. You don't have to waste that necessarily. So you just slice right on down the end, and you already saved yourself a bunch of fat calories, and you've totally improved the nutrient profile of this delicious, savory meat by reducing the fat calories and amping up those protein calories. So you're going to be left with a lot of protein, a lot less fat if you do this simple trimming trick just like this. So grab yourself one end of your bacon, take your sharp knife right on down the edge of those protein parts, trimming those fat trimmings right off of there. Simple as can be. Like I said, the colder this bacon is, the easier it is to get this fat trimmed off. That bacon is going to be a little bit stiff and not as stretchy. But if you got sharp knives, that'll solve that problem as well. Look at that. Perfect. We got that fat almost fully cooked or cut off, and we're going to have nothing but protein left over to cook for the most part, but still delicious pork flavoring. So just grab that end, take your knife right down the line, get one big piece of protein there. Beautiful. This is coming together perfect. Look at that. Doesn't take a lot of skill to do this, just a little bit of patience, and you have some lean, delicious, authentic tasting bacon without all the fat that you normally have to deal with. And you just got that piece there. There's those trimmings. One more nice, beautiful piece. Perfect. And then you just take your pieces, load up that tray, put it in the oven about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, I like to go ahead and stop after about 15 minutes or so. Take it out of the oven. Look how nice and crispy that is. Perfect, but it's not done yet. We want to get a bowl, get that aluminum foil back out, and we're just going to take a piece of aluminum foil. We're going to put it right over top of that bowl and then push the middle in, making a little bit of an aluminum foil bowl. Perfect container to discard that grease in. That way you don't get our bowls all dirty. Now take the end of your foil on your baking sheet. You want to make a little funnel. Look at that. Perfect. That grease is going to run right down there. It's not going to get on your pan one bit at all. Like I said, making the cleanup as simple and seamless as possible. Now just pour right on in there. Look how easy that is. Just beautiful. Nothing could be simpler. So you want to get as much of that grease off there as you can. Then you just go back in the oven. Now this is some traditional bacon that I did not trim the fat off, so it's got a little more grease. Back in the oven, about 3 to 5 minutes. Watch it, make sure it doesn't get too crispy. Then just get yourself a fork after it's cooled a little bit. Put it right on your plate. Don't get too greedy. Just take a few pieces at a time. You don't want to drop any of that precious bacon on the floor, lose it to your pets, or lose it to the floor. It's too good to waste. Now, after about 30 to 60 minutes, your grease should be solidified at room temperature. Just take that foil right out of your bowl, put it right onto your other piece of foil. All that grease is hardened. Very simple. Just fold it up. It's ready to throw in the trash. Never to be thought of again. So simple, and those bowls, that baking sheet, are as clean as can be. Just fantastic. All right, let's get a piece. The best part of the video, what we've been waiting for. Nothing but smiles.